Hello everyone, welcome to today's episode of Pictures on My Mind. I'm your host Edward Thompson, and today I'm talking about the Exodus movement of your people. That's right, a lot of people are leaving Twitter, or now it has come to be known as X. Earlier this week, The Guardian announced they're going to stop posting on there, which is pretty wild considering they had like millions and millions of followers. And yes, I too, this week, just for fun, have opened a Bluesky account, although I have previously been dabbling in threads as well over on Instagram. And today I'm going to tell you about how it's been going, because maybe you're thinking of doing something similar. First, let me have a sip from my Star Trek Next Generation mug. Now I'll begin. Twitter was great. I joined Twitter in 2011 at the kind of peak of what were the London riots, because I was a photojournalist and I lived in East London. Of course, I was banging around East London trying to photograph the riots, and I was seeing a lot of media getting mugged. And I was using Twitter as a means of sharing information like, hey, photojournalists, if you're going down this street, put your cameras away, okay? And then I just stayed on using it, and it was really cool. And one thing I found it particularly helpful for was whenever I had to crowdfund a photo book, which, you know, it sounds a bit crass, but, you know, you need people to see that you're crowdfunding a book. And Twitter was amazing. You had amazing reach. I didn't have that many followers in the beginning. Hell, I don't even have that many now. I think I'm around 3,000. But it was the way people would retweet and share your posts. You could get really kind of amazing reach, or what they call impressions. Now, since the Musk man has taken over, and since they've introduced ticks and paid subscriptions or whatever, I've noticed my impressions on Twitter just drop right off. Which really sucks. Just right now, I have 2,999 followers on Twitter, and I've noticed the numbers going down by the hundreds because obviously people keep leaving and deleting their accounts. And even with like that near 3,000 followers on Twitter, I noticed most of my average impressions are between 80 and 100. That means for that alleged 3,000 people following me, around 80 to 100 people are actually seeing them. So my last episode was a tribute to my former Professor Paulo, who died tragically last month, and I shared a link to that video on Twitter. And obviously that should have gone to around 3,000 people, and then I think 6 people retweeted it, which in total, all of their followers, if you add them up, was 21,000 people, potentially, right? How many people do you think out of 21,000, out of all those shares, actually saw it? 684. It's grim. So even without people leaving Twitter on ethical grounds, like the impressions man, it's kind of useless. And, you know, that's the weird thing about Twitter is there is hardcore pornography on it. There's crazy alt-right edgelords. There's loads of like bots and maniacs and people trying to pick you up. A few people are staying just to fight the good fight. But you know what? Like, I've been on Threads for a little while, and there's some downsides to that too. And I've only just joined Bluesky. But look, man, like, think about it tactically. Who are the kinds of people who are generally running kind of media organisations, and maybe the people that you as a photographer might want to freelance for? They're not edgy alt-right weirdos like in their parents' cellar. No, this is my house. Anyway, the point is that, you know, like, I think for a freelancer it makes more sense to be on the platform where those editors and those creative people are, okay? So here are the two options. I think there's Mastodon as well. I'm not on Mastodon, but yes, I've been on Threads for a little while, like a couple of months, and I joined Bluesky like 4 or 5 days ago. So first I'm going to cover Threads. Threads seems to be working quite well, because if you're on Instagram already, what happens is you join Threads and immediately you can kind of follow everyone who's already on there, and they kind of follow you back. Or if you click something, I don't know what I did, but like anyone who kind of joins Threads from Instagram kind of almost automatically follows me, which is pretty cool. So although I've not been on the platform long on Threads, and I don't use it that much, out of my 3,800 Instagram followers, I have 1,000 followers on Threads now. So it's kind of an inbuilt audience, basically, of people you kind of already have an association with. A bit like Twitter, Threads does have a For You and Following section, so immediately defaults to all this and stuff it's trying to push at you, but you just got to remember to drop in and click Following, and you'll see only the people you're following. Well, sometimes it's good to see For You, although it does seem to be, how do I put this bluntly, a lot of engagement baiting on Threads. A lot of people posting stuff like, what's the best lens? Or what's the best focal length? I like 62mm. And obviously this is all done to kind of bait engagement from people to kind of elevate that person's social media account. But, you know, the people my age, a little bit older, they're not taking it lying down. They're doing something called replying. So there's a great photographer I follow on Instagram called Craig Fleming. And until I started following him on Threads, I didn't realise how hilarious he was. So whenever these people post these ridiculous kind of engagement baiting questions, he replies, and his replies are Comedy gold. So here we go. Number 1. Are MD filters worth it? If you need one, yes. If not, no. Photographers, what is the best film camera? This one. Henri Cartier-Bresslaw used one, so enough said. Tell me you're over 40 without telling me you're over 40. Tell me you're an engagement baiting wit without telling me you're you beat me to it. So, you know, he's got better. What used to be cool 10 years ago but isn't anymore? Dumb questions? So what's the rule of thirds? Please include examples. You're shitting me. Where are the New York photographers at? Have you tried New York? Where are the Midtown Manhattan photographers at? Well, in a bizarre twist, you may have just inadvertently answered your own question. What's good digital camera for vlogging? Help please. Linoff Technica. Okay, photographers, let's settle this once and for all. How do you pronounce bokeh? It's not generally a word that photographers use. Photographers, analog or digital, and why? Yes. Now, I found some of those funny, just because it's obviously not the response they're looking for. The downside is for Craig Fleming and the people who are responding like that, that's just going to say to the algorithm, like, you like this kind of content, here, have more of it. Okay? So that's not good. But, you know, I appreciate him dragging into that nightmare. Another slight problem with threads is what has become called thirst traps. And essentially it's like a beautiful girl or woman posting a photo along the lines of like, do I look 35? Why don't I have a boyfriend? Do I look 40? Would you say I'm in my 30s? And essentially, not all of them, but the majority of them, it's like, on their profile, it's like then linking to their OnlyFans account. Okay, and it just seems to be that. Loads of that. So that seems to be also a downside for friends. And, you know, maybe you could say that, dude, that's your algorithm. That's what's drawing your eye, but damn it, it's really hard. So obviously that's coming at you in threads. But, you know, so far so good. I haven't used it much. I've shared a few links to my episodes here. I don't generally post that much on it. But, you know, it seems, apart from all that, seems okay. Now, Bluesky. So I saw the day The Guardian left and said, we're going on Bluesky, and those other people were like, we're going to Bluesky. I thought, you know what, I will check it out. I will at least try and get my username. So I did that, and I'm Mr. Ed Thompson on Bluesky now. I've currently got 58 followers, yay. I've got 132 following, because obviously I've followed loads more people, and just posted a couple of posts. And so far so good. There's lots of stuff I haven't worked out yet to do with the kind of the way it works. It's sort of an algorithm that you seem to have a little bit of control over. But as I said at the start of the video, man, look, like if the editors, if like the writers, if the people who are generally kind of sound and either in your industry you might end up working with or getting you work on Bluesky, like maybe it's better to be on Bluesky. Like, I don't need to be having arguments with like alt-right troll farms on Twitter all day, you know? And that's one thing I noticed is that there was a sort of age where it seemed to be that kind of mentality was on the wane, right? I mean, I photographed my Texas book all the way in 2006 and 2007. And the minute Barack Obama became president, I thought, oh, well, all these photos I've got, in a way, a lot of them are kind of from a bygone era. And then Trump got in, and that's exactly when I started sharing that work again in 2016. Because I was like, oh no, this mentality is still very much out there and in charge. And it really literally is in charge. So what do? Do you stay and fight the good fight on Twitter? Or do you just bail out and just stop wasting your time on it? Let me know what you're going to do. So at the moment, what am I doing? I'm on Instagram, I'm on Threads, and I'm on Bluesky. Obviously YouTube, you could say that's kind of a thing, but generally not a social media. I don't know, man. Like, answers on a postcard. You let me know. What are you guys doing? One thing that I forgot to mention is this guy. This is an amazing tapestry. It's getting a bit cold here in this Victorian cellar. And a very good friend of mine, Paul Jackson, who's an amazing artist, you should check out his stuff, sent me this. What a champ. So I thought I'd just put him up. I thought I'd put him up for now. So he's hanging out for a little bit, I'm not sure. Let me know what you think. I think he's pretty cool. It's like a chameleon cradling a skull, smoking a cigar. Happy days, what's not to like? Anyway, cheers, bye.